Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is 2:32 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon, and this is my Tuesday vlog. I went to bed last night at 11:30, set my alarm for 1, turned it off when it went off, and said I am sleeping through the night because I was so tired last night. Not really sure why. I think because I just haven't been really sleeping a whole lot. The 2 nights before that, I got like 6.5 hours of sleep. You see this huge salt truck next to me? They're salting the roads, which I guess means we're supposed to be getting more snow. I woke up this morning and it was kind of snowing, icing outside. Well, I woke up to move my car when Alex went to work, and I was gonna get up then. I should have just got up then. It was a full night's sleep. And I was like, no, I'm so cozy. I'm gonna lay back down for just a little bit longer. And I ended up sleeping so late today. And I woke up and I had like such a bad headache. And so I kind of just like hung out at the house for a little bit. It doesn't really feel like a migraine. It's like back here. So I don't know. I feel a little bit better now. And then I took all my vitamins on top of that, which always makes my stomach hurt when I take my vitamins on an empty stomach, which is so stupid. I shouldn't do that. I should like eat a piece of fruit or something. But I took all my vitamins and my stomach like immediately starts hurting. Do you guys do that at all? Do any of you take like a multigrain vitamin or vitamins and then your stomach starts hurting right away? And I have water, and I just went and got coffee, and I have about 1,000 things I want to get done today, so I don't think that I'm going to vlog for a really long time, but you know, I never know when I start where it's going to go. I did a ton of cameos last night. It's just still crazy to me that I keep on getting all of these requests. But, so anyway, I did all these cameos yesterday sitting there, and I had so much fun doing them. I'm getting a lot of people that are asking me, like, I guess you can pick, like, what kind of cameo it is, because sometimes at the top it'll say, like, birthday or gift. And then a lot of people pick what's called pep talk. And I think basically they just want kind of like the things I say on my Peterisms channel, or just words of encouragement. And those are kind of like my favorites to do. My favorites before were like the birthday ones when I could be so silly and whatever and laugh. But I'm really enjoying doing the pep talk ones and just like, you know, giving people words of encouragement, telling them that they can make it through stuff, you know. I don't know, I just enjoy those. Yesterday, we didn't go to the meeting last night. Tanya woke up and her foot was hurting her really bad. And so I was like rushing to get this binder together of all, like, I got so many emails from everybody that we had reached out to. I told you guys about this, didn't I? So I Tanya's son and I worked together on putting this together, but we tried to get emails from all these people asking them like all of Tanya's family and like close friends, like how Tanya had impacted their life basically and what she meant to them. And so I got all these emails, and then I had to take the email and like put it like on a Word document, like pages, and well, it's not necessarily a Word document, but on pages, and then print it out so it looked nice. And then I was getting it together in this binder, and Tanya called and she was like, it was like 4 o'clock, and she was like, my foot is really hurting me. She's like, I think I'm gonna skip the meeting tonight. And I said, okay. And she's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna like order a dinner for Eric and I for my birthday. And they got like a shrimp dinner And she got this, like, Eric got her a cake anyway, but she got, like, this Toll House pie that she loves from the Sam's restaurant here in town. And so she's like, well, she was like, why? She was like, do you want to get a fountain pop now, or would you like to get one later? And I said, and I was like, well, and she's like, are you still going to go to the meeting? And I said, well, if we get a fountain pop now, I've got to make some videos and stuff, so probably not. I actually made a Peterisms video yesterday too, and I forgot to post it, so I'll be posting that today. But I, like, once it was up and it was, like, ready to be published, I, like, shut the computer and didn't even think about it. I'm so silly, aren't I? Silly, silly, silly. Stupid silly. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, I said, and I, like, didn't want to tell her what, you know, I was putting together. So I said, can you give me, like, a half an hour? And she was like, yeah, sure. So I ran home because I hadn't typed out my part of what I wanted to put into it. And I was, like, rushing to get all this stuff done. And I knew, like, any moment, because it was, like, it had been, like, 35 minutes. I knew she was going to text me and be like, hey, if you haven't left yet, let's just do it later. Because I'm, like, in for, you know, I knew she was going to text me that. And so I was, like, almost done with it. And I wanted to get it done so I could come back and, like, you know, get my videos done and all this stuff. So anyway, so she texted me and she's like, hey, have you left the house yet? And I was, like, getting ready to walk out the door that second. And I was like, yeah, walking out right now. So, and when I picked her up, I told her, I said, I knew that if, I knew you were going to text me any moment and you were going to say, like, hey, let's just do it later. She's like, you know me so well. So anyway, took Tanya to get a fountain pop. And I also, like, I had given her this, like, for her birthday, I gave her, like, a subscription to this recovery magazine. But that wasn't, like, really her present, you know? So anyway, and then we were talking and I said, because she had gone on and on about this Peterisms video that I did, and I had talked about her in it, and she just was like, it was so nice, Peter. She was like, it was, like, one of the nicest things that, you know, anybody's ever said about me. And so I was talking about the video, and I said, what did you like about the video? Anyway, I just kind of, like, segued into, well, I said I wanted to give you something that you haven't been given before. And so Nick and I worked on this together. She was like, you and Nick worked on it together. And I was like, yeah, we were texting each other and calling each other. And so she was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. And she's like, I didn't know about any of this. And she was so surprised. She loved it. She was just blown away. It was so cool. I literally had like 30 of them when I was done, from all different kinds of people. She was like, you reached out to all of my family? I was like, yeah, Tanya. It was really fun putting that together. I realize as I get older, like when I did that video for Alex and I worked with his mom on that, you know, and like this book that I wrote for my mom of like the memories. I think I read through that one on my Peter Does Stuff channel. I realize as I get older, well, I guess I've always kind of known this, but it just means more to me as I get older, that the kind of gifts that I really like to give somebody are things that I like to give emotional gifts, you know, to really let somebody know how much I appreciate them. It's snowing right now. Or I like to do something for somebody that you know, they don't necessarily always do for themselves, like, you know, buy them a steak dinner or something like that, or, you know, get a gift card for a steak dinner to someplace that they, you know, something like, not just a gift card to like a Starbucks, which, don't get me wrong, like that's fantastic and I think that's wonderful, and I give out my fair share of Starbucks cards, but you know what I mean, like to somebody that like I'm trying to think of an example. You know, like my sponsor, she is always redoing her. The other day I was talking to her on the phone and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm fixing my refrigerator. I'm like, you're fixing a refrigerator? She's always fixing something and redoing something. She's so funny. And especially if you met her, because you wouldn't like just, that's why you don't judge a book by its cover. You wouldn't guess that that's like who she is, but she's so good with like she retiled her entire bathroom and repainted it, and it looks so professionally done. She's so good at that kind of stuff. So to like give her like, you know, get a couple people together and give her like a large like Home Depot or Menards gift card so she can go in there and just buy whatever she wants to buy to like redo something, not to save it, but like that she has to like, you know, do it then. I think that would be kind of a fun gift. Her birthday's coming up, so I'll have to remember that. Tanya told me what this new place is that they're building over here. I've shown it a couple times. She said it's the new Hamilton County Humane Society, and she said it's supposed to be really, really nice. She knows the woman that runs the Humane Society in Hamilton County. She really likes her. I guess they've like known each other for a long time because, you know, Tanya owns a boarding facility, and so sometimes like they go back and forth with like working with each other, you know. It's starting to really come down. I was thinking about this the other day. I may have said it on here. I think I probably did. Art Garfunkel. I've been listening to this Love channel a lot. Love and the Spectrum channel that plays a lot of music. Plays like a lot of, like, sometimes like the Smiths. And then it'll play like, it's really random what it plays. Like the Cars right now, just what I needed. It was playing, something Foxes. Fleet Foxes or something earlier. But they play a lot of kind of like that new age-ish kind of music that I liked when I was like in high school. But anyway, I was thinking the other day, it's like, you know, every year I'm always like, we didn't get very much snow, we didn't get very much snow. We've, like for 2 weeks now, had a lot of snow. And like this whole week, we're supposed to get snow. I was just talking to my neighbor when I was leaving, because she was putting a letter in the mailbox and or getting the mail or something, and she's like, yeah, I think we picked the wrong month to go to Florida. And I'm like, they're both retired. And I'm like, well, it's not like you couldn't go back. She's like, yeah, we've been thinking about it. I was like, have you really? She's like, yeah, we really have. So they went to Florida and they rented an Airbnb for a month, like outside of Tampa, I think, or like in Tampa. They were closer to the beach than Tampa, maybe St. Petersburg. And they rented a Airbnb there, and they drove down her little VW convertible and put the dog in there, and they had a blast. They really enjoyed it. They did that like from the first like couple days of January until like the first couple days of February. They were gone. Alex and I are starting to look at some places, or looking at sometimes to go down to Florida and work with this agent who I was emailing back and forth with a little bit on Monday. At least just to like sit down and meet with them and like kind of start establishing like what we're like, you know, we're really looking for and whatever. That way they can do some work while we're, you know, up here. We have two friends of ours that own places in Florida. So I think Alex was gonna talk to both of them about one of our friends owns two places, about coming down there, like what the availability is. I was looking online to get like a house with a pool again like we did last time, but the reality is that between now and like the next couple months, I was just like looking at week after week after week, just putting in like possible weeks. it's so expensive. I think like everybody in the world is going down there and renting Airbnbs. It's just super expensive, and they're just going to stay there or something, I guess. It's just super expensive. I couldn't believe it. And I even looked up the one that we stayed in, and it's already booked out for, well, not February, but we couldn't get down there that soon anyway. But like all of March, it's booked. I think like the first week it's not, but then like after that, it's like booked through March and like part of April. I love that little house that we rented. It was a great house. You should see some of these houses down there. They have houses that are like on the water, like not like the intercoastal like us, but like on the beach. And they're like 6-bedroom mansions, and they're like 12. Like the lowest I saw was like 12 of like these big mansions to like $36,000 for a week. Can you imagine being able to even if you had like 6 couples, that's still $6,000 a week per couple. That's still like a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. Snow is so pretty. I don't know if you can see over here, but look, the birch trees. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? It's just kind of snowing kind of lightly. It's 19 degrees. I'm kind of surprised it's not sticking to the ground more. I'm going to turn it this way until we drive by Conner Prairie, because this is so pretty over here. So this is all like woods that backs up to Conner Prairie. This is where like I see along here like a lot of deer late at night when I'm driving and I'm vlogging. I don't think you can see it in the camera probably. I'm not looking right now, but like it's really coming down. And then this is Conner Prairie over here. And Conner Prairie goes over to that field that I was talking about. And anyway, and it goes way over there. It's so pretty. My hand sanitizer rolled out of the floor. Here, I wanted to show you this too. Isn't this so pretty? You know, people complain about Indiana a lot, but Indiana is, I mean, look at this tree up here. Indiana is really a beautiful state. I mean, look at that. It just looks like a picture, doesn't it? They don't say a picture of what? That's from To Kill a Mockingbird. That's when they're walking down the street and Atticus Finch says to, why can't I think of that woman's name? Look at how pretty that is. And then this is what goes to that huge field that I always show you. It goes down, there's like a river. Do you see all that? Isn't that so pretty? But anyway, when they're walking down the street, those kids, and that woman starts shouting at them, "You don't hate me," she says. And so Atticus Finch, she starts talking to her, and then she becomes really nice. And he says, "Your roses look like a picture." And Jim says to Dill behind his back, "He don't say a picture of what?" Why can't I think of what her name is? I've seen that movie so many times. I don't even think that part is in the movie. Well, I mean, it would have to, or in the book, it would have to be. It's like really snowing, you guys, and it is kind of sticking to the ground now. Up here, at least it is. But I'm driving north, so. I'm so, I enjoy this, but I am so ready for the summer as well. And just being able, like I've said, go to the pool and all that. Okay, let me just tell you, I'm reading or I'm listening to The Project. I've actually been talking with her a lot on Twitter. She's been DMing me and stuff. We've been DMing back and forth. She's so nice. Courtney Summers, the author. Okay, I read Sadie like 2 years ago, which was her last book. I think it might have been her first book, but I'm not sure. So, no, it wasn't her first book. Because she's had another book, I think, that was re-released. But I read Sadie, and I loved Sadie. I absolutely loved it. And the whole thing was kind of done to like a podcast. But here's the thing, is often like when you read somebody's first book and you like love it so much, it's like, this is how I was about Simone St. James. Like when I read The Sundown Motel, I was not that it was her first book, because it wasn't, but I was worried that because that was the first book of hers that I read that got a lot of attention, that I would maybe go back and I wouldn't like her other books, you know? So I read Broken Girls and I loved it. Okay, so with Sadie, so the publisher had reached out to me and said, or the publicist, and said, hey, I know that you loved Sadie. Courtney has a new book coming out. Here's the feel that I was talking about. I wanted to show you guys this because it's just absolutely so beautiful. Look at that. And this is like people's backyards. Can you imagine? Just to be able to look out and see that. I just think it's so pretty. And then over on the other side of the street, we have more woods. It just goes on forever. I love it. I like Indiana. But anyway, the publicist reached out to me and she was like, I know that you, she was so nice. She emailed me and she said, I know that you really liked Sadie. We'd like to send you her next book and yada, yada, yada. And maybe you could consider keeping it on the radar for one of your book clubs down the road. Well, I was so excited when she reached out to me because I was like, oh my God, like I loved Sadie, right? And I was like, yeah, I would love that. And I was like, you know, I'm going to make it my February book club book. And they were so excited. And she said, oh, Courtney wanted me to tell you what a fan she is of yours, and say, oh, and I told her, I said, oh, tell her, you know, whatever. And I had followed Courtney on Twitter for a long time. And what's so funny about it was I thought it was a fan account because it didn't say like the real Courtney Summers or anything on it. I thought it was a fan account for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, she DM'd me the next day, and not just like a sentence or two, but like a really long, very nice message of all these suggestions that she had of things that we could do together, possibly for the book. And let me just tell you how active this woman is in marketing her own book, first of all. I mean, I think that that is super, super important with any of your creative endeavors. You know, people ask me a lot, they're like, you know, like, well, I started this YouTube channel, what should I do with it, and whatever. Well, I think anything that you do in life, you should do it because you really enjoy it and that you're passionate about it, not just because you want the end result of total success, however you measure success. But I also think that you have to really market if you really want to do well, you have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out on Twitter a lot, and Instagram, and even Facebook, and you know, that kind of stuff. Even if it's uncomfortable, you have to, and you have to say, my next book is coming out and I'm so excited about it, and whatever. You know, I think that's a huge part of it. So anyway, so she does a lot of that. Well, I started the book the other night. I really wanted to finish it last night. I thought I would, but I went to bed so early. So I started it the other night. I think after I got off here vlogging, I don't know. And I thought, I'm a little worried I'm not going to like this book. Because the subject matter, it's about a cult. Not occult, but about a cult. C-U-L-T. And about these two sisters, and they have like a tragic history, and the one sister's trying to find the other sister, basically. And I thought, okay, I don't really know what I think of this idea. I feel like it's been kind of done before. You guys, it is so fantastic. It is so well done. I stayed up way too late. This was 2 nights ago. Listening to well, this would have been the last night that I stayed up after I vlogged, so Monday night, I stayed up way too late listening to this book. I messaged her. I said, it's your fault that I am. And she messaged me back. She's like, oh my God, I'm so glad. I was so worried specifically about you. Apparently, she's gotten so many messages from people saying that they're reading the book because of my book club, which is so cool. And I just have to say, like, I'm absolutely blown away. Like, the book is so good, and it's so fast-paced, and it's, like, deeply intriguing as far as, like, family dynamics and tragedy, but at the same time, it's a thriller. I mean, like, you have no idea what's going on, and I'm just completely blown away by it. She's done such a fantastic job, and I'm really, really excited, because, you know, like, the thing is, you know, for a book club, typically, when you go in, like, if you're in, like, I want these book clubs to feel like a book club that you would go to at the library, but it's just like we're all reading them together. When you do a book club, you know, like that, you pick a book typically, like you all decide together on a book that you're going to pick that, like, you haven't read before. Now, I know that there's a lot of booktubers, bookstagrammers that do book clubs, because I follow them, and some of them I read their books, that do book clubs of books they've read. Like, they'll, like, pick 3 books they've read, and then they'll do that as a book club, which is, like, or Oprah's is like that, too. Like, Oprah has, you know, like, read, obviously, the books that she picks for her book club. But I wanted it to be something where I could get excited about it, too, you know, because it's all about me, right? But I wanted it to be something that I could get excited about, too, as far as, you know, reading something in the book club. But it's hard because when you're picking a book, you don't know, like, is this book going to be crap? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be problematic? You have no clue when you're picking that book, right? I've been trying to pick books, and the other thing is, I don't want to necessarily pick books right off the bestseller list. Like, I thought I would do that. I thought I would pick books that I would just look at the New York Times bestseller list and what was ever on the top 10 that I hadn't read. There was actually a book on there that I was going to pick for last month, that I may pick for March. I'm not sure. I'm actually thinking about picking a Leanne Moriarty book for March, because I love Leanne Moriarty, and it's been forever since I've read one of her books, because I've only ever read Big Little Lies. So I'm thinking about picking a Leanne Moriarty book. There's also a book called, if anybody has read The Paris Hours, will you let me know what you think of it, and if it would be a good book for a book club, because I'm thinking about The Paris Hours, which is about 4 different people's stories. I think it takes place, like, in, back in the day, like in the wartime era of Paris, and it's 4 people's lives intersecting over the period of 24 hours, and I heard really great things about it. But if not, I may pick something just totally random. And you know what? It's almost time for Mel and I to have to pick our... Oh, no. We already have our March book picked out for True Crime Book Club. I forgot. Oh, God. Thank God, a month that we don't have to worry about what we're going to... We always, like, get so stressed out about it because we're trying to pick, like, the perfect book, and there is not the perfect book ever, you know? But anyway, I'm loving the project. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it to anybody. It's definitely not young adult. Sadie kind of sits on the edge. Sadie, yes, I'll speak to that because it's the only other book of hers that I can speak to. Sadie kind of sits on the edge of, like, young adult, well, new adult, and, like, a thriller. And I feel like it is definitely more of, like a couple books that I've never understood why they were considered young adult. Like Dumpling by Julie Murphy, even though it was about a girl that was in high school, I did not consider Dumpling to be a young adult book. That's just me. And definitely not The Girls by Emma Cline, of which the project is being compared to. I definitely did not. I mean, I couldn't believe I was in a Half Price Books, and they had The Girls by Emma Cline sitting in, like, their young adult section, and I thought to myself, there are some young teenagers out there that would read this book, that this would be a lot for them. I mean, it's about a grown woman looking back on her life, and it does do flashbacks to when she was younger, but it flashes back to her life of when she was involved in this cult that was like the Manson cult, you know? So it's like, I don't know, like a lot of 13-year-olds that would understand that. I don't know that at my age I really even understood the gravity of what she was talking about, but it was such a profound book. It stopped. But it was such a profound book, you know? I'm actually excited to see what she has coming up next. I looked, and Andrew Maines, I should be doing this in a book vlog. Andrew Maines, who wrote The Girl at the Bottom of the Ocean, he has a book coming out soon too. So, all right, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna do a book vlog when I'm done with this. When I'm done with this in Indiana. Did I bring another battery with me? I don't think I did. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Anyway, what was I gonna say? So yeah, so I'm loving that book, and then why did I not bring another battery with me? That was stupid. When I knew I thought I was gonna film a review video. Well, I can always go home and get it. Ow, what did I just poke myself with? This strawberry stuff that I got in Anthropology. The Amazon delivery truck. You guys want to see some houses just on the side of the road in Indiana? Look at this. This is what some houses look like. Here they go. Aren't they cute? Look at these huge yards these houses have. That's so pretty. I love this house right here they're building. Isn't that so cute? We're coming up on the area where, do you remember when I was driving around that night and there was that styrofoam or cooler? And I didn't look, it was right here on the corner, and I didn't look to see what was in the cooler, and I wanted to later. I said I wanted to go back and kick it. This is where the cooler was, right here. But I didn't go and look. I should have. Oh my gosh. Anyway. My headache has gone away. My stomach has stopped hurting. This vlog has done me miracles. And it's snowing outside. It's beautiful. My brother-in-law and his girlfriend, they have a season pass to, like, or a yearly, I don't know what it is, to go skiing in, well, they live in San Diego, so whatever would be close to San Diego. I don't know what this is, it's something famous, but, and then he and a friend drove, I think they went skiing. They both snowboard, he and his girlfriend. They're like really big into it. But he puts this stuff on Instagram, his Instagram stories of him snowboarding. You guys, I have not been around a winter that is like that beautiful in a long time. Like that kind of winter where it's like feet of snow and mountains. And it's so crazy to think that like he lives in San Diego and he's like 3 hours from that. He's not far from where he skis, which is crazy. When Alex went out to San Diego, did he go out before me? I think he went one time without me. No, we went together and we visited Jesse and Fufu. And then when I went to go visit Mel, Alex went out there for that music festival. It's like one of his favorites. That Crest, I think is what it's called. But anyway, Alex loves San Diego. I have to say, I really liked San Diego too. I couldn't really see myself living there. But I will also say, like, it's a big enough city that's still a small city that, like, it would be one of those cities that I could, like, get in a car and, like, drive. I mean, I think I went to the casino when I was there. I did. You know, I could drive, you know, just, like, for me to be able to get in a car and just kind of, like, drive is so nice, you know, and it feels like freedom. It's like in the movie Mermaids when Cher is like, cars are freedom, you know, it's like that's how I feel about it. So, I mean, San Diego, I would not rule out moving to or getting a place at. have some friends of ours that their daughter is in, I think, grad school. It is like really snowing. And, or maybe she moved there just to like do this like internship or something. But anyway, they bought a place, like they bought a house, and like a nice house because they like San Diego. And so she's gonna be out there for like 2 or 3 years, and so she's gonna live there like rent free, and then they're gonna come out there and visit her and stuff and stay there, but they're gonna keep it afterwards as like you know, like they're gonna keep it to go back and forth because they love San Diego. The only thing is, from Indiana, like, to fly to Miami from Indiana is less than 2 hours. I mean, it honestly takes more time to get to the airport and get from the airport to, you know, from Indianapolis, from our home. To get from our home to the airport, like, that whole process is almost more than the flight, if that makes sense. Like, we're like 40 minutes from the airport, and then checking in and, you know, going through TSA pre-check and all that, well, going through TSA and all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, checking your bags, and if you do that, that takes more time than the actual flight itself, which is crazy. I will say, like, that would be the really nice thing if, like, when we get our place down there, is we want to keep a car down there. So then, I mean, if we were going to go down there for like a couple months or whatever, I would probably take my car down there too. And I would probably, Alex would fly because he doesn't want to do road trip again. And I would probably drive down there with like the dogs or something. But if we had like a set of clothes down there and we could just take carry-on bags with us, you know, and then we could take the dogs on the plane if we wanted to, like, that wouldn't be, I mean, they're so small that they can, you know, we could do that. That wouldn't be, although they've never flown, so that makes me a little nervous. I'm getting really nervous about this teeth extraction thing. Everybody that I've talked to is like, yeah, I think you should do it with the dogs. Like, and our vet is like highly recommending it. It just really makes me nervous. To have the dogs put under for this procedure. We have to go have x-rays done and blood work to make sure that they're okay, because, you know, Tucker has a little heart murmur. So if that all comes back okay, then we'll go forward with it. I don't know, it just makes me so nervous. Not to mention, you guys, it is like really expensive. It's like $1,200 to $2,000 depending on how long they have to be in there doing it. And, I mean, Alex and I are both under the belief that it doesn't matter because of the cost, if we can afford it. Which we can. It's just a lot of savings, but it will prolong their life, and we don't know how much pain they're in. You know, like, one of the things that she said was, a lot of people get their dog's teeth extracted because their teeth are so bad, and then, like, you have, like, they seem like a completely different dog. Like, they seem like puppies all over again because, like, Tucker seems like that already. Boo sleeps a lot, and Boo's teeth are absolutely 10 times worse than Tucker's. So my concern is that Boo Radley is in a lot of pain. I'm almost kind of like, at this point, and they said that we didn't, I mean, she was like, you don't have to do both dogs at the same time. You could do one dog and then the other. I'm kind of like, since Boo is healthier, maybe do it with Boo and then see how it goes. I don't know. I mean, I've trusted my vet with everything else, you know. Look at all this snow. Now, these are mostly farms out here where I'm at right now. Like, you can see they have like 15 pickup trucks. And then here's the farmhouse right here. Now, that's a lot of what Indiana looks like, especially when you're driving on the interstates. You see like that. where you'll see like a little farmhouse, cute little farm. Well, that wasn't the cutest farmhouse in the world, but it wasn't bad. But you'll see like real cute, like Victorian farmhouses out in the middle of nowhere, and then like barns and like huge land of farms. It's hot in here. I started that Britney Spears show the other day. That was on, I guess it was on, I don't know, I was gonna say the Sci-Fi Channel, but that doesn't seem right. What channel? FX. It was on FX. It's part of some like series that they do. Everybody is talking about this though, right? Because of like the Free Britney thing. And so it's on Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu too. That's where I found it. So I started watching it. I'm like a third of the way through. It's very sad to me. Like extremely sad. Just all of this for like, God, it's really snowing. All of this for like money, you know? It's like, when people talk about Britney Spears' dad, it's like they go back to like the very beginning when that woman's talking about her in New York City, and like she and her mom and dad came and they were trying to figure out how they were going to make it work. You guys, let's look at this. It is so pretty. It's like a snowstorm almost. And everybody says that is it Lynn, the mom, is so nice. Like everybody keeps on saying that. Why don't they make her the conservator then? You know, you think about that as far as sexism in the United States. It was interesting because somebody on there, I can't remember who the woman was, the woman with blonde hair. She said this, and it's like, you know, that's the point of discussion that a lot of people don't bring up. Oh, look at this farm over here, you guys. This is so pretty. Tons of farmland. There's like a little snowman there and everything. Aw. But she said this would never happen to a man in our country. And I thought that kind of like built-in misogyny of the United States court system is so interesting to me. You know, that this would never happen in our country. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine a musical star on the level of Britney Spears? It's a man. I mean, you can't even compare her to Justin Timberlake because she's probably more famous than Justin Timberlake, right? So let's see on that level, who would it be? Like, that's a guy. That's her age. Well, I mean, I don't know. Because something like, can you imagine, like, this is such a poor example, but somebody like Eminem, like having his mother have a conservatorship over him, like that would never happen. It would never happen with Justin Timberlake in this country, who is not painted in a very great light in this movie. But you know what's interesting to me is like, so Justin Timberlake, they come out and like, and I saw all these people on social media, and I don't know if it's just that maybe like I'm seeing a lot of younger people on social media make comments about this, but a lot of people, I'm just assuming, because I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just assuming because they're talking about like when Justin Timberlake came out and he was asked if he had sex with Britney Spears, and he said something about getting into her pants, or like they said something, like he answered and then they said something about her getting into her pants, and then he wrote that song about her, and you know, this whole idea of making it out to be like it was Britney Spears' fault that they broke up. And I'm like, but this isn't new. Like, do you guys not remember this I mean, I was watching it and I was like, this is what everybody's upset about with Justin Timberlake, but we already knew this. Like, why wasn't it a problem when this happened? Because I remember this happening, and I can remember a few people saying like, I can't believe that, you know, Justin Timberlake would come out and do this to Britney Spears. But the majority of the people were like, ooh, really? I mean, that was what it was. It was, you know, so it's interesting to me that all this stuff comes out, then it's like people now are like completely shocked by it. I'm like, well, but we knew that. Like, we knew that Cry Me a River song or whatever was about Britney Spears. Like, that was a big talked about deal when it came out. Like, and what was that, 10 years ago or something? I mean, longer than that. I mean, we knew this. We knew that Justin Timberlake had said that about Britney Spears. So I don't know. It's interesting to me. But like, when they were in New York City and her dad, like, the woman says, you know, Lynn is really nice, but dad is just concerned about how he's going to make, you know, a lot of money off of Britney or whatever, how they're going to make it work. And it's like he went into it with this idea of, I'm going to make all this money off of my daughter, which, okay, fine. He's not the first or the last parent that's going to ever do that, right? These, you know, momagers and dadagers and whatever. That's fine. That's what you want to do. But like, the thing on top of that is that, now you've got complete control over your daughter, who apparently is not getting the help that she needs. Now her boyfriend even came out and spoke out against the dad. And you've got all her money and whatever, okay, at the expense of taking somebody's, basically, their life away from them. I just, that's so abusive on a level of, like, I don't even understand it. I just don't even get it. You know, and I the other thing I wonder is, you know, because these, I guess later in the documentary, people from, like, both sides come out and talk. But what do we not know? Like, that's what I always want to know. Like, what is going on behind the scenes? What do we not know that is convincing this judge? And does it come out in this documentary? Because I haven't watched this documentary yet. But what do we not know that this judge is finding it appropriate to keep this conservatorship going for so long? Like, what are we not aware of? That's what I'm interested in, you know? So I don't know if we find that out or not, but I'm interested to watch the rest of it. Now I've got that stupid Justin Timberlake song stuck in my head. I am not a huge Justin Timberlake fan anyway. I just have to say, I never have been. I've never been super impressed with Justin Timberlake. I think he's a great looking guy. I actually think he's better looking now as he's gotten older. You know, the other thing too, the other person too, is Ashton Kutcher. I was watching a Super Bowl ad. Did you see the one with the Cheetos ad with Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher and oh, who's that singer? I can't think of his name. Anyway, he was in it. I was like, Ashton Kutcher looks so much better now than he did when he was younger. And can we ask what happened to Josh Hartnett? Well, I had such a crush on Josh Hartnett back in the day when I was young. What happened to him? Do you guys remember Josh Hartnett? And Keanu Reeves. I always had a crush on Keanu Reeves. Oh my God. I used to love those Keanu Reeves. It's funny how far he's come, because when I watched Keanu Reeves back in the day, I watched him in those movies like, oh shoot, they were like, I would have to look up what they're called because I can't even remember. Crispin Glover was in one of them. You have to remember, I watched always like these very like dark cult classic kind of movies, but it was the one where the girl is dead by the river and they try to keep it a mystery. What's that movie called? There were like 2 Keanu Reeves movies. Well, he was also in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, wasn't he? But I didn't like those movies. There were the River's Edge, I think is what it was called. I loved that movie. Speaking of River, I also loved River Phoenix. When I was in West Hollywood and I stayed there to do some of those collabs, it was kind of freaky to me because we were right around the corner from the Viper Room. And I was really kind of obsessed with River Phoenix back in the day. I think River Phoenix was probably my first celebrity crush that I ever had when I was growing up. We were about the same age, and I had like a very similar haircut to him, and I just really loved everything about River Phoenix. I love Joaquin Phoenix today, and I think he's extremely handsome. I think he's a little bizarre, but I think he's very handsome, and I think he is a phenomenal, phenomenal actor. Yeah, I used to read all these like cheesy cheesy biographies about like the Phoenix family and what were their names? Rain and Meadow were all their names, and Joaquin, but Joaquin wasn't Joaquin at first, was he? What did I just call him? I called him something else, didn't I? But anyway, they were like all like missionaries, like their parents were missionaries in Venezuela or something. You guys, look at this snow. Like, it is just coming down. I'm living for it. You're probably like, we can't see it in the camera. Can you see it? It's just, I'm loving it so much. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna light a bunch of candles and I'm gonna make some videos. A River's Edge, that was the one Keanu Reeves song, the one Keanu Reeves movie. But what was the other one? There was another one that I liked even more than A River's Edge. Or the River's Edge. Is that what it was called? I think it was called The River's Edge. And they were both kind of like indie movies that weren't super famous. I don't remember what the other one was now. I'll remember in a second. The Matrix, I never really cared for that movie. Isn't that so funny? I know people love The Matrix. It was never one of my favorites. That girl had the back of her thing tilted this way, like this, like down, like this. She was like, it was hitting the top of her head. It was so funny. Well, I can't even remember. I've definitely vlogged a lot longer than I thought I was. So I'm going to pull in here and I'm going to check and see what this movie is. And then I'm going to do a book vlog before I go home. I didn't even know we were supposed to get any snow today. This is how crazy Indiana is and why I don't follow any of the meteorologists, because meteorologists will say like, oh, possible snow on Saturday, sunny, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then you'll wake up on Wednesday and it's like this, right? And you're like, yeah, where's the sunshine that you said you were getting? And then they'll say, oh, a foot of, this always happens in Indiana. Central to northern Indiana, 8 to 12 inches of snow overnight, and you'll wake up the next morning and there's not even a flake of snow on the ground. And you're like, oh, where's that 8 to 12 feet? Oh, passed us by. You know, it's like, I don't know, to be honest with you, how the meteorologists get paid for what they do. They can't even guess the temperature, you know? I mean, it's kind of like one of those games at the carnival. You can kind of at least maybe even guess the temperature. 20? Maybe? I don't know. It was 20 last night. It's going to probably be between 22 and 30 today. You know what I mean? Like, they can't even get the temperature right. Or if we're going to have snow. And this is literally, your job is to forecast moving storms into our area, and you can't even do that. Not even close. Not even close. I mean, you guys, true story, I follow news stations in Indiana on Twitter, and so every night I see the weather forecast come up, and it's almost laughable at this point, because I'm like, they never get it right. Like, never. My battery just went to the halfway mark, so I'm gonna have to get off here, and here, we're gonna pull in here. Pay less liquors. Look at these liquor stores are so humongous. When I was drinking, liquor stores were not humongous. They were little, just little like SHI tip stores, you know. Okay, this is the parking lot that I come to during the day. I don't know if you guys can see it. I wanted to make sure that you can see the snow. Can you see it? You can't really see it, can you? Why do you think snow doesn't show up on camera? You guys later will be like, Peter, we saw it all 50 times that you showed it. Okay. Keanu, how old is he? Oh. God, he's like 10 years older than me. I didn't know that. He's 56. I'm 48. He looks a hell of a lot better than me, doesn't he? Okay, let's see. Career. Wait, that's not what I want to look up. Hold on a second. Well, maybe it would show his very first movie. You know what? I don't need it. That's stupid. Okay. Peter can't even navigate a simple Wikipedia page. Okay. Career. Shoot. Filmography. Okay. Oh, River's Edge. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Oh, My Own Private Idaho. I loved that movie. Speed, loved that. It doesn't really talk about... Oh, wait. Claimed it highest grossing films, including, according to the review, aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes. Wait. It's not showing all of his movies. I don't know why. Keanu Reeves. There's like another movie like around the same time as River's Edge that was really good. Oh, there's River's Edge. God, he's been in a lot of movies. Oh, Thumbsucker, that was a good movie. Feeling Minnesota. The Gift, that was a good movie. I love that movie, The Gift, about the tarot card reader. That movie was scary, The Gift. River's Edge. What was the girl that was in River's Edge? What was her name? Iron Sky. Roxanne Assault. Do you guys remember that movie, 7 Minutes in Heaven? I was talking about that the other day on here. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I don't think I am. There's like 2 movies around that time that I really, really like. But anyway, that's it. So, see you later, Keanu. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to get off here now and go and deal with the storm. I love you guys, and I hope you're having an amazing, what is today? Wednesday. I hope you're having an amazing Wednesday. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!